Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism and narcissistic relationships. So let's talk a little bit about something we don't talk about enough. We talk about families, but what about working in a family business? And what about working in a family business when your family system is narcissistic? If this is you, please drop it in the comments. I know you're a specific group, but it's probably more common than we think. So you could say a person has a narcissistic parent. Narcissistic parent has a business, a successful business. The intention is that one day you might potentially inherit the business, or at the very least, the business's success will be a source of revenue for you. The anticipation is that you will work in the family business, and it may very well have been that your entire childhood was about never getting to consider another professional path. You may or may not be interested in what the business does, but you learn the business since there appears to be no other option. Your parent is only interested in you when you are showing interest in the workings of the business. Every summer was spent working at this business. Your college major was organized around working in this business. And now you are in this business. How's it working out for you? If you're in this situation and you feel comfortable, let us know. Now, for anyone, I have to say probably except for the golden child, having to work in a narcissistic family business is a bit of a toxic nightmare. Listen, if you are lucky enough to have a healthy family that has a business and you want to work in it, then great. I have seen it happen many times. And it's kind of cool to see how they're all focused on building something together that benefits them and others in the family. I mean, it's unfathomable to me, but it's cool when it works. Now, it's not like this in a narcissistic family system and with a business. Because all of that loss of identity that's caused by being in those family systems and not being able to individuate and become your own person, this is what will happen as long as you are in the business. You will be in a professional identity where you're still being treated as a 6-year-old child, even if you're 56 years old, and are never able to fully develop professionally. Your decisions, for example, for how to grow the business may never be taken seriously, and you may find yourself in the rather uncomfortable and incongruent position of feeling as though you have to wait for a patriarch or a matriarch to die before you will be able to actually make decisions in your position. And if you have narcissistic siblings whom you have to work with, then this type of situation is untenable. Now, people in these situations will report feeling manipulated and that they are ungrateful or bad if they do not agree to work in the family business. Others may feel quite torn, knowing that down the road, the success of the company will benefit their own or could benefit their own children, and they don't want to interrupt that destiny. Others will work themselves to the bone in an attempt to win over a parent who was eternally invalidating. Think Succession on that one. Now, sometimes the family member whose business it is or who runs it will believe that you should actually be paid less than you are worth on the future faked promise that someday this will all be yours, and leave the person in the uncomfortable position of having to go to the parent for handouts for all kinds of purchases and forever feeling like an adolescent who's asking for walking around money. In these situations, it's like there is never a break from the family toxicity. You have to show up to it at work, you have to socialize with it, build it into your days. Over time, this can really take a toll on a person and may result in health and mental health challenges, as well as impacts on your other relationships, and even a loss of a sense of purpose and meaning. So some of you may be thinking, so walk away, don't do it. Go get a job you want to doing something else. Some people may even think You are lucky you had a job that you could just pop into. It's not that easy. Again, this may represent some people's legacies, and walking away from it and running the risk that someone else may run it into the ground or even take it over can also feel like an issue. Then, of course, beyond strategy and tactics, there are those pesky trauma bonds, where a person justifies, potentially, a toxic parent's behavior and saying, oh, my parents always worked hard, they tried to make things better, they built this from the ground up, and you wanting to prove yourself to that parent. And all of those messy justifications keep pulling you back in. Walking away from confusing and toxic situations is never easy. And when there is money and decisions that could affect future generations, it's not as easy as, I'm just going to step away. There are no easy decisions in these situations. It can be difficult to assert and request well-written and well-covered business agreements, though you may want to speak to an attorney about how best to proceed. The business may be used as a bargaining chip to punish you, or if you don't do exactly what the family member, especially the family member in charge, wants. May offer a promotion, then take it away, promise you a different, bigger role, then pulling back, giving you more autonomy, and then you don't do what they want, so they put you under their thumb again. Most of these situations in these family businesses never get better, and I have, over the years, talked with many people who end up walking away and giving the heave-ho to the legacy and the money of it all. But that may result in a need for cutting off ties, something that many people don't want to do. Whether it is a small mom and pop business or a succession-scaled multinational business, narcissism often cuts through these sorts of employment and money-making setups and can keep people stunted in a permanent childhood, trying to shepherd a family business to a new place, often shelving their genuine interests, and forever trying to fight not only for their parents' attention, but for the individuation and the autonomy that narcissistic relationships so often steal from us. Thanks again.